guys, to Cars in Isolation with me, Ross, and Sherlock. Who's that? Who's that? He's a good boy. Today we've got the Mitsubishi Pinin, or Pajero, depending on which country you're from. They're in the car! Free, like you wanna be. Okay, well you can't jump out the car. You have to wait till I open the door for you, and then you can go. Little Pinin, little baby 4x4 made by Mitsubishi. Little Japanese, styled by Pininfarina, the Italian styling house. You couldn't get a better combination. Now this is one of the greatest little 4x4s that you can buy, probably for the best part of under £1,000. I mean, now we're talking about them, the prices are probably going up, but at the moment these are little bargain 4x4s. Let's face it, you could go out, order your brand new Jimny for whatever they are, they're on the road at £25,000. Forget that. Buy this one for £1,000 and spend the rest on jelly babies.
Why jelly babies?
Because they're nice. So we've got the little Pinin. This is actually a car quite close to our hearts, really. We bought this. I bought this probably 2-3 years ago for £400.
Yeah, it was.
£400. It was my little bargain buy. It was at the time that we didn't have a car and I needed a car, and this turned up and it was a bit of a project. The lady who had it, it failed the MOT, and which I'll go into detail about some of the problems. Unfortunately, yes, this particular one was made in Italy. It's obviously got Italian steel. They do rust, but I'll go through the areas of concern. But this has got full MOT, no problem. So these are great little 4x4s. This one is the 1.8 multi-point injection. You can get the 2 litre GDI, which is the 4-door version, 5-door with a bigger 5-door.
I was gonna say, what are you on about?
Yeah, but this is a little 3-door, but they do the 5-door, which we have had as well, which are very good, and that's got the high and low transfer box. This one is just permanent 4-wheel drive, and these are a real bargain buy. If you look out for a really good in condition, low mileage, I really recommend them. If you just want something to chuck your dog in the back, or you want to just use it as a daily driver, this is great. This is a petrol 1.8 multi-point injection. It is pretty good on fuel. We're getting an average about 28 miles to the gallon. On a full tank you're looking at about 350 ish. So, but not too bad for its size. So this one is actually an elegant spec. You can get a top spec which is called a Warrior. They hold their money quite well, but this one is an elegant spec and obviously had the leather added as an option, but quite nice for a 4x4. But real sports vehicle. But it's just little, it's the size, and you can take it off-road. It does go off-road very well. You know, I think it would give a Range Rover, Land Rover, anything like that, Defender, a bit of a run for its money. Okay, it's not that tall, but they are good cars. Right, so Ross's top tips. This is probably the longest car I have ever owned. Like I said
Hang
earlier.
on. Longest car you've ever owned? You mean longest time you've ever owned a car?
Longest time. Ross's top tips. So, Mitsubishi Pinin, or the Pajero, depending on, they actually built it in 3 different countries, would you believe? Japan, Italy, where this one was made. The one that was built in Italy for Pininfarina, which is why this one's called a Pinin, was actually for all the European markets, and then Brazil, which I think the Brazil one was called the IO Pajero. Anyway, who knows about that. So my top tips. This is probably not the longest car in the world, the longest car that we've owned. I think we've owned it for 3 years, 4 years, and that's good going. If anybody knows me, they know I can't really keep cars longer than a week. So this, I know everything about it. It did fail its MOT about 2 years ago, pretty majorly. So I'm going to give you my top tips of what to look out for if you're buying one of these. Top tips is brake lines. You know, anything this age, copper brake pipes, they do rot and rust away. Check them out. These are no different, and I've completely replaced the brake lines front to rear, all the way. Just check them, you know, because that is a fail if it's leaking. Obviously you've got no brakes then, but top tips, check the brake lines. Top tip number 2, fuel pipe. This has got what they call swan neck fuel pipe into the actual fuel tank. It's a common thing with them. They rot away, rust away. You'll probably go to fill it up one day and it will all pour out onto the tyre. Then you know you've got a problem. So you can still buy them from Mitsubishi. They're about £125. I'll put a link into Holdcroft Mitsubishi, who I use, get really good service from them, and in the post next day. So like I said, 120 quid, but they always rot out and rust because they always get all the mud and they just sit there and rot away. So fuel pipe. Top tip number 3. You can't actually see this, so I will put this corner or maybe this corner, depends how well we edit. You know, we're new to this. It's got a cross member, almost like a subframe, but it's a cross member joined between the 2 chassis legs. The right at the front, at the bottom, it holds the radiator. They rust away. It's like an I-beam cross member, and it's welded in between the legs, and it fills up, normally fills up with water, pulls up, and they rot away. It's the most common thing to check out. So if they've got an under tray, 10mm bolts, there's 4 of them, whack it off and have a look. Just a real quick one, check the top mounts, top strut mounts, where the suspension bolts in. You can see it here. Sometimes the welds rust. I've coated this all in protectant, POR, rust protectant, which I'll put in the link. I've also completely painted the underneath of it just to help stop the inevitable rust that they unfortunately do suffer with. So you've probably guessed the word of the video is rust. They do rust, but if you pick up a well looked after one, and then, you know, make sure the maintenance is done. These 1.8 MPIs, they have cam belts, make sure they're done in the correct interval. Other than that, they are great little 4x4s, and they'll keep going on forever. Thanks guys, please like, share and subscribe. We're going to keep bringing the videos to you. This one was a bit later on because we had the rain, but luckily we got the sun come back out. But please like, share and subscribe, and we'll keep bringing you cool content. Any information you need, put on the comments. Like I said, we've had this for a while and we've pretty much done everything to it, so if you need any help, please comment and I'll see what I can do.